We have a special bonus episode today brought to you by our friends at Ford's Gin. If you love to serve a special cocktail during the holidays, you don't want to miss this. Hey everyone, I'm Cappy and you're listening to Beyond the Plate, the Duo season. I'm a chef by trade and hospitality professional. By day, I head up Rachel Ray's culinary operations and co-founded her cooking and kids charity called Yummo. 6 years ago, I had the idea to put together a podcast where we sit down with the world's culinary elite to explore their journey into the food industry and the social impact they have made in their communities. Hence, the name Beyond the Plate. If you're new to the pod, welcome. If you listened before, we're so glad you're back. This season, we're featuring some of the greatest restaurant and hospitality duos in the industry, and we're grateful to our partners who make this podcast a reality. With that, last season, we brought you a special episode of Beyond the Plate. Some of the team shared their recipes and tips for Thanksgiving. This year, we thought we'd give you, our listeners, what many of you would love to hear about: cocktails. With gin, of course. We hope you enjoy this episode as we get your party started with the brand advocacy team of Ford's Gin, the experts at shaking, stirring, and serving. By the end of this episode, your mouth will be watering and craving some Ford's Gin. Please enjoy this episode as we go beyond the drink with Tim Cooper, Joe Brooke, Alex Maynard, and Anthony Bohlinger. All right, everybody, we're headed into Thanksgiving time and holiday time. People still have a week or two to get their bottle of Ford's Gin. So I think I want to turn to you guys for some inspiration as it comes to cocktails. I think people talk about dishes on Thanksgiving or holiday time, and some people like to put out those special cocktails. So I'm curious, for you all, what are we drinking? What are you drinking? What are you mixing? What are you bringing to a gathering? I want to hear from you. So we're going to go around the horn with you four. Let's start with Anthony. What do you got up your sleeve there?
Right. Well, I'm originally from New Jersey. So around Thanksgiving, the weather is a little colder. I think my buddy Tim Cooper is from Jersey originally as well. So I like to make a cocktail from the old Revolutionary War called the Stone Fence. I'm a creature of habit. I'm a creature of simplicity. And the Stone Fence is as simple as it comes. It's apple cider, and you can add your spirit to it. I think classically it's with rum or whiskey. And obviously it works extremely well with Ford's Gin. It's also an extremely versatile cocktail where you can have it warm or cold, depending on the weather. You can mold that cider as well by adding different spices to the cider, or you can just keep it extremely easy and clean. So it's just a long cocktail. If you're making it cold, you're about 1 part Ford's Gin, add some ice in there and top it with some cloudy apple cider. And you can garnish with a little bit of grated cinnamon or nutmeg. And then you can really take it to the next level as well. You can mold that cider. So basically mulling it is cooking that cider down, adding some lovely kitchen spice, some maybe allspice, some nutmeg, star anise, maybe a little sugar to sweeten it up a little bit. And then throw that in a thermos and add your Ford's Gin. And because Thanksgiving is a time of family and friends, it's an easily batched cocktail as well. So you can do this large format, and it's super simple and easy, and it's very delicious.
I love that. That sounds good. I love how you specified the cloudy apple cider. Appreciate that.
Listen, we love Martinelli's, apple juice, but it's going to get you down the wrong road. Cloudy organic cider.
Got it. Love it. All right.
Tim knows.
I know all about it. Jersey represent. I appreciate the Jersey call out there, Anthony.
How about you, Tim?
Hey, Cappy.
What do you? How's it going? What do you got going this Thanksgiving time or into the holiday season?
Passing the old cocktail shaker mic over to me. Thank you. So happy to be here this afternoon and talking cocktails. So, oh man, I'm kind of like, it's one of those things where I'm generally a bit more heavy-handed with my drink consumption, especially around the holidays and family. I'm a big fan of, going over to the dark side quickly. However, I do come from a family of white-collar drinkers and Truly and things of that nature, which, by the way, I will not ever vouch for, ever. I'm a fan of drinking well, not, consistently slow throughout the day and with malt beverage. So let's get that out of here. So I always find making something for the fam that's got a little bit of that sparkly profile that's heavy on the citrus is the way to win. So I start looking for fruits that are in season in the fall and into the early parts of the winter. So Meyer lemons are always one of my favorite citruses to work with. They have a bit of an earthier profile than your typical lemon or lime. So I find they work perfect as, a French 75 variant or doing a Tom Collins variation with a little bit of thyme. There's also a word that I want to bring back that I feel like I haven't seen enough of lately, which is the Royale. Remember the Royale? Get rid of the club soda, throw a little bit of champagne on that, elevate it. One of my favorite drinks was the Southside Royale. Obviously, I'm talking about Meyer Lemon. So one of the cocktails that's kind of a hybrid between a French 75 and a Tom Collins is this drink I've been finding some success with over the holidays. For Aunt Betty in particular, she likes to just go in and kind of stumble around for the rest of the day. But it's essentially 1.5 ounces of foraged gin, 3/4 ounce Meyer lemon juice, a sprig of thyme, 3/4 simple syrup, a dash of orange blossom water. We're going to shake that up. We're going to pour into Aunt Betty's favorite cocktail glass, and then charge with about 1 ounce of champagne. So I'm going to repeat that again really quickly. So 1.5 ounces foraged gin, 3/4 Meyer lemon juice, 3/4 simple, sprig of thyme, couple drops of orange blossom water, shake that, and then top with 1 ounce of champagne. So we're talking Royale business. So
Tim, what kind of champagne you use?
Only the finest, my friend. Only the finest. Not champagne from the States, only champagne from this certain region of France. So I'm not falling into any of these Jersey mechanisms, my friend.
I mean, maybe a little Bohlinger?
There's a France in New Jersey?
No.
I know there's a Rome in Florida.
There's an Orlando in
they
Jersey,
get their
too.
tomatoes from Jersey, France.
Good tomatoes, actually.
Jersey tomatoes. Jersey corn and Jersey tomatoes, right, Anthony? Culinary agricultural delights for all of
You know what?
for all of
Let's
you
get
who
this
don't know.
Let's get this going.
Just be happy I'm not talking about pumpkin spice,
There's nothing wrong with that.
Uh-oh. Hopefully Joe or Alex don't have a pumpkin spice cocktail that they chose to bring. No? Okay. Tim, love it. Thank you. It sounds
My
good.
mom's from Jersey.
Seems like Anthony thought about it, though.
Anthony lives it. It's a lifestyle.
Joe, Brooke, what cocktail you mixing, drinking, serving this holiday season?
So there's a classic New Orleans cocktail called a Café Brûlot that I love doing. And traditionally it's a brandy based one, but it actually works really well with gin as well, as long as you add a little bit of chocolate. It's meant to be performed tableside, kind of like a Bananas Foster, where you have a cauldron that you heat up a bunch of spirit. It's basically gin, Kirschwasser, and then mulling spices, as our friend Anthony described so eloquently. You put that all together and you actually set it on fire from underneath. And then once it gets heated sufficiently, you light the entire thing on fire and you pour it over a clove-studded orange peel. And so as the ignited liquid pours over, it sort of ignites all those little pockets of zest. So it's this cool little fireworks show. And then you extinguish the entire thing with a pot of strong coffee. And this is actually the glass that it's served in. That's actually one of Tim's relatives. That's the devil himself. And it's meant to sort of pay respect to that. And it's nice. It's a small little cup, about 1.5 ounces. It's meant to be just a little taste after a very full meal.
It sounds like a bigger, not batch cocktail, but just kind of like a larger component cocktail.
You can serve as few as 4 people with it, as many as 12 to 15 people. It just depends on how many people you got to please.
Got it. Interesting, Joe. Thanks for that. Never heard of it. Alex, how's it going? What are you drinking? What are you mixing?
Holiday style, I feel that everything is so heavy. It's like our tradition is to be slumped on the couch, full, bellies full. So I like to start with something really light. I also hate that feeling of a bunch of folks coming into my space without having something. So I generally like to pre-batch what I call Rosie 75, which is a rosemary French 75, basically. So it's 1 ounce of foraged gin, 1/2 ounce of pear brandy, a rosemary infused simple syrup, lemon juice, and sparkling wine. Only the finest, straight from New Jersey. The rosemary sprig in there. And it's just something nice that folks can start out with. And then if they want to continue to drink it, it pairs very well with, again, a lot of all that heavy stuff that we're ingesting.
Awesome. Love it. Anthony, were you going to say something?
Cappy, which one is your favorite?
Anthony.
Yeah, who did the best job?
Yeah, who won?
Oh, Happy, sorry. Just salt.
Pinch of salt. I like that, Alex.
Always.
Who won?
I think we have. I didn't.
Oh, yeah, no, I meant to say saline tincture as well. Does that count?
No. Buzzer. The buzzer went off. No, thank you. I'm not answering your question, Anthony, but thank you all. I appreciate this. It actually wound up perfect. There's a couple of the good starters, Alex, Tim. I like the batch format, Anthony. I was curious if anyone was going to bring one, because I think that's a great thing to bring to a Thanksgiving dinner holiday. And then Joe brought the possible large format cocktail, which I appreciate too. And I'm a fan of coffee, so appreciate you all. Thank you. Thank you to Forrest for being part of the season. And cheers.
Right on.
Cheers.
Anything else, anybody? Anyone want to add anything?
Yeah, I got a little cheat code for the people, for my Negroni drinkers out there. Here's a little, sultry add-on to your Negroni. So batch one out, keep it in the fridge, throw 2 cinnamon sticks in the bottle, let sit overnight, and you have yourself a bit of a winter wonderland effect for your batch Negroni. So Uncle Tony, coming your way, relax, sit back, get those baking spice notes, and live happily ever after. So just a little bit of a sprinkle of add-on for all the folks who love their Negronis.
I will be doing that, Tim.
And I'd just like to add, enjoy those Negronis responsibly, please.
Yes, that's fantastic. And since these gentlemen may not toot the Ford's horn, I will let you know that you can use the Ford's bottle to make a bottled cocktail. It has the measurements etched into the bottle, and the label also peels off rather cleanly, so you can have a nice, beautiful fridge door cocktail. I will be doing that Negroni one. Tim, you may have just taken it home with the bonus to the bonus.
Listen, I'm for the people. I'm for a celebration. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays to all. Let's, get busy with our delicious cocktails. And Cappy, thank you for having us. And we love your little garnish and accoutrement on the right hand of your shoulder.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Thank you all. Appreciate your time. Cheers. Happy holidays.
Thanks, Cappy.
Thank you, Cappy.
Cheers, Cappy.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to this bonus episode. To get the recipes we talked about, check out the episode notes in your podcast player or go to beyondtheplatepodcast.com. To learn more about Ford's Gin, go to fordsgin.com and follow them on social media at Ford's Gin. Ford's Gin, we thank you. Please drink responsibly. Ford's London Dry Gin, 45% ABV, Brown Forman, Louisville, Kentucky. Ford's Gin is a registered trademark. The Beyond the Plate team will be taking next week off to spend some time with our families and loved ones, and hope you all have a relaxing, safe, and fun Thanksgiving. We'll be back the following Wednesday with our regularly scheduled programming. Find me and keep up to date with this podcast across all social media at On Cappy's Plate or go to beyondtheplatepodcast.com. Beyond the Plate is also on social at BT Plate Podcast. This episode was produced by myself along with Ian Cohen, Joel Yetton, and Sean Petrosian. Our digital media producer is Sarah McClellan-Mead. Our music has been composed by Goldford. Find him at iGoldford. As always, a special shout out to my wife, Katie. If you have a moment, would you be so kind as to rate or review and subscribe to this podcast on your listening site of choice? And don't forget to join us next Wednesday for an episode of Beyond the Drink, our companion podcast to Beyond the Plate, brought to you by our friends at Ford's Gin. And also our brand new podcast called Clean Plate Club. Clean Plate Club is a family-friendly podcast that is kind of like story time, but with recipes. You can find it on all major podcast platforms and on Instagram at Clean Plate Club Pod. Thank you for listening to Beyond the Plate. I'm Cappy, and remember, there are never too many cooks in the kitchen.